as you guys can see, I always get a bunch of alt accounts all on one device. And since so many of you guys have asked, I think it's finally time I leak the method on how I get all of these accounts running hatching eggs for 24 hours straight on one computer without any disconnections and making sure that they all stay in at all times. This method is so easy to do, I can literally do it in less than 10 minutes. So make sure you guys watch right until the very end of the video, because having 5 accounts hatching instead of 1 is 5 times more secrets that you're gonna get. And make sure you guys subscribe. If we hit 25k by the end of May, I'm gonna give away a secret. But for now, I do have to say that this is a PC only method, but I will be dropping a video very shortly about how you can do this on mobile as well. So click the video in the top right if it's already out, or just scroll down and subscribe with all notifications so you don't miss it. And if you guys have any questions about the macro, just come to my Discord server, first link in the description, and I'll make sure to help you with whatever you need. Also, we do giveaways on this Discord server. As you guys can see, I just gave away an exclusive Robux Dark Serpent Pet, and we'll be doing these giveaways multiple times a week. So make sure you guys join with the link in the description, because there's nothing to lose. Anyways, for PC, there are 2 main methods of doing this. One of the methods only requires you to install one application, but you can only run up to 2 accounts. However, the other method lets you run as many accounts as your computer can handle. However, you will have to install 2 things instead of 1. I'm going to go over the 2 account method first, and then we're going to go over the more complex one. So make sure you guys stick around if you guys want maximum luck. So it's pretty simple. How I actually get these accounts to stay in is this little thing called Tiny Task, and this is basically a macro that allows you to move your mouse wherever you want or move your character wherever you want. Now what I mean by this is if I go to Tiny Task and I first open it up, you're going to think it's extremely confusing, but it's actually quite simple. If I go ahead and press preferences, the first thing you're always going to want to do is press this button here, continuous playback. This will make it so whenever I do a movement, it'll just do it over and over all night. But you might be thinking, how do I make a movement? You guys can see here, if I go back onto preferences and then I look at recording hotkey, you can see there's 4 different things I can choose from. Now, F8 I would recommend, because F12 is Roblox recording and you don't want Roblox recording. Print screen takes a screenshot, which you don't want. And Control-Shift-Alt-R we're going to need for the playback hotkey. So do F8 for recording hotkey, playback do Control-Shift-Alt-P, and now that we got that done, we can actually start recording. So let's say if I'm hatching on 2 accounts, I'm going to want them both hatching like without getting disconnected, right? So what I'd actually go ahead and do is just get them both started on the hatch. And then I would do this. I'm press F8 and then I'm clicking this thing and I'm clicking this thing. And pretty much what this does is it makes sure that as long as you're clicking an instance in one time within 20 minutes, you will not get disconnected. So let's say I record that, I press F8, so now the recording is over. Now what I can do is go ahead and press my playback hotkey, which will be Control-Shift-Alt-P. So Control-Shift-Alt-P. Keep in mind, guys, the Shift and Alt and P I always do on the right side. Like I do left control, right shift, right alt, and P. Because, like, for some reason the other version doesn't work. But look, see, my hands are off the keyboard. Look, right now, like I'm clapping. You can't do that with one hand. So, look, I literally, just like that, my hands are off the keyboard, and it'll just do this continuously all night. Now, if I were to not put on continuous playback, the macro would just stop straight away. But you see there, it just restarted, which means it's going to do this all night. Now you might be thinking, WeirdBlox, how can I even get this many accounts in? Well, for this first method where you can only get 2 accounts in on once, the first thing you're going to want to do is simply just open up on your browser. So just go into your browser and just join Bubblegum Simulator Infinity as normal. And the next thing you're going to want to do is go to your search bar and actually search up Roblox Player. So when you go ahead and click on this, it'll actually bring up the Microsoft version of Roblox. You can see here. Like you guys can see right now, this is not the website. This is a Microsoft app. So now if I want to go ahead and join, it'll actually open up 2 instances at once. So I'll have my website on and it'll have my app on, both at the same time, which easily allows you to run 2 at once. But you might be thinking, WeirdBlox, that's nonsense. I don't want 2 accounts, I want 5 just like you. Or maybe I want 7, or maybe I want 9. Alright, well chill, okay? So either you want a macro to be hatching, or you want a macro to be grinding coins. Now the hatching one is easy, but the grinding coins is a little bit of a challenge. because unfortunately you cannot grind coins on multiple accounts at the same time, which means, yes guys, whenever I do these hatching videos, I have to go into Zen, and for like 3 hours on each account, I have to grind max coins, and it takes ages. However, with a macro, I can actually do it completely while I'm away from my PC. So now, using the same Tiny Task application, before I go over how I hatch on multiple accounts on the final egg with multiple accounts, I'm gonna actually show you guys how to grind coins. So obviously the best coin area is Zen. You know, I don't even have to say that you need to put on your Coins Evolve potions and golden orbs. I mean, you guys should know that. But you guys see, I haven't moved since I teleported. So I'm just going to angle my camera like this, and then I'm going to teleport again to Zen, okay? So now what I'm going to do, once again, I'm on Tiny Task. I'm going to go ahead and press F8. Now it's recording. So now what I'm going to want to do is just make very one-time movements, like not too complex. Make sure like you click one button, stop. Click one button, stop. And basically what we're doing right now is we're setting up a recording for the macro to do over and over. So I recommend you cover every single possible area, because if you miss a single area, then eventually all of the pickups will be in that one area, and then your entire macro will be ruined. Also, make sure when you're walking across that bridge that you're in the middle, because sometimes the macro is slightly inaccurate and then you can fall off the map. However, there is a way to make up for this, which we'll show you guys in just a sec. So now that I've covered a bunch of the areas, I'm going to press my hotkey to actually teleport to the map. Now I'm going to move my mouse to this up button, and I'm going to press the up button around 6 times, just to make sure if I accidentally fell, it will save me. And then I'm going to press teleport, and now just like that, I'm going to press F8. Now that I've completed my recording, if I just go ahead and press Ctrl, Shift, Alt, and P, you'll see here my hands are off the keyboard, as you can see. And it'll do every single movement for me. And this allows me to easily grind coins, and unfortunately this is only one account at a time, but hey, it's better than running around by yourself. Okay, now that you've got all of your coins ready and you want to get your 5 accounts hatching at once, this is what you're going to need to do. There is this application called Blockstrap here. Now this is like basically like an extra part to like a different separate. This is not Roblox, so this isn't affiliated with Roblox. But you guys can see here, they have a bunch of different things, like a bunch of different settings. Like, you know, you can use the old death sound or whatever. But basically what I'm after is allow multi-instance launching. Now basically when this is switched on, what it'll allow me to do is to actually open as many instances of Roblox as I want. And pretty much now, the Blockstrap is simply just open. And then now, if I go and I click Bubblegum Simulator Infinity, I can just easily, like, it doesn't disconnect me because it doesn't say same account launch from different device. It just allows me to do multiple, just like that. So if I get my Blockstrap up and then I just open it, and then now I can get all of these alt accounts at once. But wait, there's another issue. Hatching on 5 accounts is way too bad for my little school Chromebook. You know, maybe I can't handle all of that. You know, it's gonna crash my computer. Well, by coming over to Blockstrap and going to engine settings and scrolling down, you'll see here frame rate limit. So what I used to do on my old PC is I would turn the frame rate limit down to like 10 or 5. And that'll basically make it that you can get a maximum of 10 or 5 frames per second. Now, these will allow you to hatch the eggs the same amount of speed, but it'll just make it so the graphics don't look as cool on your computer, which is fine if you're just leaving it AFK. But yeah, now that I know all of this stuff, I'm going to put all of my accounts on my screen, and I'm going to try to auto hatch, okay? So usually I have 2 monitors, so usually I don't do this, but just for the sake of this recording, I'm just going to show you guys what it'd be like if you have 1 monitor. So, you know, maybe you put your screens like this, and that, and then, you know, maybe you'll drag this to be like that. I don't know, you got to get like squares. You know, if you're doing it on 1 monitor, you have to get squares, because you need to make sure that you can click every single instance. Here we go, just like this. So if you have 5 accounts, I'd recommend doing this. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is press F8. So F8, click, 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 click. Make sure you click a few times. Click, 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 click. 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 Now I'm gonna go back, because you see how like it changes, like some things go on top of other windows. So I'm just gonna go completely reverse just so it fixes. Now F8, and then now I'm gonna go Control, right Shift, right Alt, P, and now, as you can see, I'm clapping. It's gonna do everything by itself. overnight, and this will basically make it so you don't get disconnected. And this is definitely the best method. This is what I do, and I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers do this. This is easily the best method on how you can leave your device running overnight, and I hope you guys who have commented on it enough finally got what you wanted. Now guys, if we hit 25k subs by the end of May, I'll give away this secret royal trophy. And we're legit only 12k subs away, and we're legit pretty close, so make sure you guys subscribe.